Welcome back, party people. You are listening to Crossplay, our video game podcast here at the Whatnauts. It is Saturday, July 12th, 2020, and this is episode 33. Coming up on today's show, we have plenty of news coming from Ubisoft as they just had their Ubi Forward conference. We finally have actual gameplay of Assassins Creed Valhalla, and FarCry 6 was officially announced as well. In other news, though, Sony has also invested in Epic Games. So we will be talking about all of that and more in just a sec. But for now, my name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Ignacio Rojas.
Yo.
How's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. Again, it hasn't been an eventful week because I'm on vacation, and since you can't go outside, it's pretty much just me waking up really late, staying up till really late, but not doing much during the day.
There you go.
So it hasn't been an eventful week.
Are you more of a night owl, or are you a morning person?
No, I'm a night owl.
Okay, same
like
here.
An extreme night owl.
Yeah.
I will get up really late in the afternoon, and I will stay up pretty late until the sun hasn't come out yet, but pretty soon it will.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like I one time, I think this was like my first summer, like in college, my first summer back at my parents' house. I effectively reversed my sleeping schedule so that I was waking up like right at 5 in the afternoon, like right before my parents got home to like make dinner and stuff like that. And then I'd be up all night, and I would go to bed at like 6 or 7 in the morning. And then just sleep all day, because it's like, well, nothing's happening. I'm just home by myself, so I might as well be awake when you know when people are at the house. So
I feel like I'm my most productive at night.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I could wake up earlier, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I would rather do at night, so I'd rather have more time at night.
Yeah. Like it's just it's so quiet, it's so peaceful. I don't have to worry about people texting me or stuff like that. It's just like I can do my own thing. I can watch all the TV shows that I want or play all the video games that I want. No one will bother me. It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. Well, speaking of video games, let's start talking about them there good old video games.
Good old video games.
Yeah. So updates on Iron Man VR. I see you've still been playing that. How's that been going for you?
I mean, it's still pretty fun. I didn't play it much this week because it still feels like, even though I have everything plugged in for my PSVR, it still feels like I have to make more of an effort to play a VR game than any other game.
That makes sense.
So I only played it once this week. But yeah, it's still pretty fun. Like I said before, being Iron Man is so much fun. It's such a fun concept that I'm glad they made a game around it. Story-wise, again, it's still an interesting story. Again, like you said before, the story isn't that original for Iron Man. It's like pretty standard that if you're going to have a new Iron Man thing, it has to include the struggle with his past. But I feel like the game at least does a good job including newer elements that make it stand out, make it something different. For example, I talked before last week about the main villain, who's Ghost. So I think that them including Ghost in there, it's really helpful to materialize the phrase "being haunted by the ghost of your past," because she really leans into the ghost aspect. There's one specific level where you're in his mansion and he just gets woken up at night and you have to walk to your garage. But while you're going there, it's pretty much something tense, and it's all haunted, and the piano is playing by itself, and who turned on the fire?
This sounds like a job for Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Exactly. So I like how much they lean into the ghost aspect of how they're using ghost as a kind of like a little ghost, and how she is making sure that Tony is being haunted by what his actions did, and having him pay. And another character that I didn't talk about last week, that again, kind of like symbolizes his past, and it's pretty much having to deal with your past self. That is the character of Gunsmith. So Gunsmith was an AI Tony created pretty much in his own image, pretty much using himself as a basis. He's even the model for the AI, what you would see. It's pretty much Tony there. He just used himself as an AI.
Or like the hologram.
Yeah, the hologram
version.
Yeah, the hologram that's pretty much Tony there.
Okay.
So Tony created Gunsmith back when he was creating weapons as an AI who would develop new weapons. So then when he had to give up all of the weapons manufacturing, he retired Gunsmith. But now that a new enemy came up that has all this new tech, this enemy that repurposed his old tech in order to attack him, he pretty much sees himself forced to bring back Gunsmith. And so the more that the story goes on, the more that Gunsmith becomes more unhinged and more reckless. Like at first, Gunsmith gives Iron Man new upgrades. Now you can have like the secondary weapons. That's something that Gunsmith came up with. But then it gets to the point where there's one mission when you are fighting against Ghost and her army back outside in Malibu in the beach, and you're just being swarmed by her robots, and then Gunsmith appears, and he pretty much created a death beam from space, just shoots down.
And I hate when that happens. I'll just be
walk
into 7-Eleven or something, and then all of a sudden this giant death beam from space just hits me.
Yeah,
the worst, man.
Yeah, I hate to see it, but yeah, I like how, again, that's something that also personifies his past. He struggled with his past, with who he was.
Sure.
He was a warmonger, and that's one of the interesting things that I think the game does story-wise. Something new that it gives that old concept of Tony being haunted by his past.
Good stuff.
Yeah. And then again, like I said, it's so much fun to play.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. So, other than that, I haven't played much this week. I played more Breath of the Wild, but didn't make any big progress in there. I just wandered around, seeing what I could find, unlock new towers and all that, but I didn't do much.
Okay.
I tried playing Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins, but I think I wasn't in the mood right then because it just didn't connect with me, and I didn't want to play it anymore. I only played it for a couple of minutes.
on the episode where we have a bunch of Ubisoft knows.
Yeah, I know.
Don't let them hear it. Belinda, close your ears. Don't listen.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed sucks now. I'm sorry. No, but yeah, that I did play. Yesterday I played a bit of The Escapist 2 with a couple of friends.
Okay.
Since it was free with from Epic Games.
Yeah.
They were giving it away free. So me and my friends have been looking for games to play together, and this is a game that you can play with friends. Although it's a bit complicated to play with friends right now. It's really hard to do.
What do you do in that game? Because I just got it too, but I was just like, it's free, I'll download it. And then I have no idea what it is.
So the escape is basically a game where you just have to escape prison. You start inside a prison. You have your routine.
Story of my life, man.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, you're inside a prison and you have to escape, find a way to escape. So, for example, one thing since you are in a prison, you have all these schedule you have to follow. You have roll call at certain points of the day. You have breakfast and lunch. You have workout time. You have free time. You have work time. So what you have to do is you have to accomplish all those things, because if you miss something, you have the police on your ass. But while you're doing that, you have to find ways in order to escape. For example, when you're at your free time, you get the opportunity to go to the cells of other inmates and go through their stuff, and maybe you'll find something useful.
Okay.
And the game also has this crafting system. So say you find, I think it was talcum powder and toothpaste, you can make kind of like a mold. So now that you have a mold, you can go after a cop and beat them up, or a guard and beat them up, and take their own key, the key of the guard, and make a mold for the key. So now when night comes, instead of going to sleep, you can just walk out of your cell, out through different doors. So the game is about planning your prison break.
Okay.
And it's a fun game. It takes a while to get what you have to do and actually plan what you'll do and make it happen, and all of the preparation. It takes a while, but I think it's a fun game to actually play with friends.
Good to me.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I've done this week. It wasn't a very eventful week for games either.
It's that like in between stage where it's like, okay, we've kind of all beaten The Last of Us Part 2. Now we're just waiting on Ghost of Tsushima. We need something that we can play like in the interstitial.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to beat Origins before Tsushima came out, but now that won't happen. So yeah, I'll just have to wait for Tsushima and leave Origins for after that.
Yeah. Well,
what have you been playing?
I got to play Portal for the first time.
Ooh. The first time.
Well, for the first one. I've played Portal 2, and that's one of my favorite games of all time, but I've never played the original. And I picked it up on Steam because it was like $2 or something. Cause in their Steam summer sale stuff, so I got that and Portal 2. I think it was like $2 for both of them. Yeah, and then I started playing that, and I was having my girlfriend watch me as I played that one, because we've played through a couple games. She likes watching me do this stuff, but I also want to like okay, what kind of games do you like watching me play? There's this kind, there's puzzle games, there's action games, there's all sorts of stuff. So I'm still like, here's a puzzle game. What do you think of this one? But I want to say we got, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through on our because it's like what, 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, it's super short.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are kind of escaping from the factory right now. We know that the cake is a lie. Yeah. So,
but is it though? Is it?
Dude, what's the deal with all of these like things that look like everyday household objects, and then it's like, oh my god, it's cake.
You mean all those videos that have been popping up on Twitter?
Yeah. Like that, like I've seen that stuff before, but there's been this like resurgence this week on just like, look at this toilet paper roll. That's actually a cake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably because now that we're all in quarantine, baking is something that people have been doing more and more now. And I'm guessing if you've done baking, how many months has it been? Like 5 months, 4 months?
Yeah.
At some point,
like
you have to try
mid-March.
to be even more creative.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, so hoping to finish that up maybe this next week or something like that. But yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's the exact same Portal that I know and love. I am playing it with keyboard and mouse because for some reason my controller doesn't work with it.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
It might just
maybe,
be an old game.
Yeah, maybe it didn't have a controller support. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, but
I
that's
don't
fine because
remember if I played it with a controller.
it's a good game to try and kind of teach me that stuff because I'm terrible on a keyboard and mouse.
Well, that's because games were never meant to be played like that. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, let's be honest, but yeah, like I'm trying to learn that, trying to figure it out. It's a little bit older graphics and stuff like that, and for the first time I think ever, I started to feel very lightheaded playing the game.
Yeah.
And
I get it because of all the fast movements.
It might have been that, just like it might have just been the perfect storm of like weird kind of older 3D graphics with fast movements, as well as it's kind of hot in my podcast room. It's small and I have all of the like sound proofing stuff, so it like keeps all the heat in. I have all these lights on, my computer is going, you know, all of that stuff, and I hadn't eaten much that day. So I think it was just like a perfect storm. But I was like, whoa, I feel motion sick and stuff. So I was like, I have to stop. But it's good. It's fun. I'm excited to go back to that one. And then eventually play through Portal 2 once more.
Yeah, it's clearly our first step for what then came with Portal 2, which was even more ambitious.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Gears Tactics. Now, buckle up, okay? Because I'm gonna complain about this game.
Let me get something to drink. Let me get comfortable.
I've been talking about this game for the past couple weeks, so I'm going to kind of sound like a broken record at some parts of this stuff. So I'm gonna try and gloss through most of that stuff. But then I ultimately want to complain. So, Gears Tactics. It is a solid entry into the tactics genre. It's fantastic that the Gears franchise fits so well into this style of game. It's perfect. The mechanics of the game, from just like moment to moment stuff, is fantastic. I love it. It's great gameplay. I cannot wait to see what they do for Gears Tactics 2, because I think they will really knock it out of the park. I know I've mentioned a couple weeks ago that the way they do side missions in this game is just not good. It's very bizarre. They're mandatory. Like it will be like, okay, time for side missions now, and it's like, here's 3 or 4 side missions you can pick from, and you have to do 2 to 3 of them to continue on and advance with the story. So you have to complete them to continue on with the story, and you can only do them when they tell you that you can do them. And so I think that's just a bad system. Like I like the idea of being able to pick which side missions I do, but I want to do that whenever I want to, right? To like level up my characters and stuff, and be like, oh man, I'm about to go fight the boss in this next story mission. Maybe I should go do some side missions to go level up, stuff like that. But nope, you can only do it when they tell you to. So that is bad. I do not like that. The thing that I really want to complain about this week is the difficulty and the balancing issue that this game
also is still a problem
has. Yeah. So when I first started playing this game, I mentioned that I very quickly put it down to beginner. Is their like lowest mode. And at first I was like, oh man, now it's almost too easy. And then kind of midway in the like second act of the game, there's 3 acts. So like midway in the game, it started to be a lot more comfortable, and I was like, this feels right where it's at. I wish it had started kind of at this difficulty a little earlier on, but it's fine. And then every now and then, though, there would be some real strange difficulty spike. I had one side mission that I was just getting my ass whooped. And like, it's not that I like don't know like how to play these tactics games. Like I know I should at times, you know, stick my squad together so they can kind of all focus on one thing, or if I want to split them up, I can, you know, have these guys here and then go flank the bad guy so I can shoot them from multiple angles and stuff. Like I get this stuff. Like I know how to play the game, but it's holy cow, they just bombard you with horde after horde after horde of these bad guys to the point where it's like 4 against 25. And it's just like, what is this? There's so many of you that like there's no way that I could beat this. And this is on the easiest difficulty. Whoever thought that was a beginner mode? Sorry, man. That is not a beginner mode, especially on a side mission. It was just like wave after wave. I was like, when does this end? This is, and it's not even like, okay, you've defeated wave 1. You know, take a turn to like heal up your people and stuff like that. No, like they would just continuously come nonstop. And it did that multiple times in the story missions as well, where it was just like wave after wave of stuff, and it was just like, Jesus Christ, how many of these people are there?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not fun. And I finally got to the final boss in this game. I'm planning to go try it a couple more times, but I faced him once late last night, and yeah, I got my ass whooped. To like, I just like it. I don't understand. Now I'm not necessarily a prodigy at video games, right? Like I'm not great at them, but I'm not that bad at them. Like, there's no way that this is an easy mode. It's just, I don't understand it. Of just like how certain things can be so. It's like, oh, this is a breeze. Like, this isn't bad at all. Like I think, like it does the whole permadeath stuff. So if you lose a character, they're gone forever. However, you also have a couple hero characters that if they are out on a mission, it is required that they survive.
Okay.
And so I think the whole game, I only lost one person. But the weird thing is, it was not the person that I was expecting to lose. So
What?
they have this one mission type where it's you're kind of being chased down by this type of bad guy called the Nemesis. I don't really remember if those are in the regular Gears games or not, but basically they bomb you. So you start on one end of the map, and you have to go pick up these supply crates that are scattered on the map. And you have to do it as fast as you can while progressing forward, because this like bombing bombardment is like slowly moving up behind you, right? And I was doing one of those. It was a side mission, and I had one of my sniper characters be really slow. And one of the things that a lot of these missions do as well is they have modifiers that go on these missions. It's like, hey, for this mission, bad guys who are behind cover and are not flanked get like plus 20% evasion or stuff like that, and this one, I think I had something on me that was like your movement speed or like the number of spots that you can move to is like cut in half. It's like your characters are going to be really slow here. I was like, all right, I need to get my fastest character so I can still at least try and keep up and stuff like that. And I had my sniper basically get caught where I was like, all right, that's it. I'm sacrificing him. He's just going to stand here and he will provide cover fire. And he's eventually going to get... He's eventually going to get bombed and he will die. And for some reason, this motherfucker would not die. He would go down. And when your character goes down, you have this ability to kind of get like a second wind, and so you can like stand up, and then you have like one unit of motion or one action you can take. Right, you don't have to move, but you can do something else. But I was like, well, I guess I should just continue to like provide cover fire. So I shot at someone, and I think I downed an enemy. And then the character gets bombed again. And he doesn't die. He just goes down, and he still has that revive mechanic thing. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's strange. He's not dying. Maybe I should move him forward because all the bad guys are moving now, and the rest of my team has, like, moved on. So he's slowly moving up, and the rest of my characters, we get all of the packages, and it's like, okay, rendezvous at this location. And so you have to get to the extraction point. And literally, I get all of my characters, like the remaining 3 characters, at that spot. And my sniper, who is way far behind, is still just like, hey guys, wait for me. Wait for as he's getting like blown to bits with these bombs, but he's not dying. And in the meantime, the bombing bombardment catches up to where the extraction point is, and so now my 3 characters who are just standing there in the extraction point are being bombed, and one of them dies. And I'm just like, God damn it. And so I have to like heal that character and all of that stuff and do all of that. And yeah, so one of them like legitimately dies. And then eventually that sniper guy catches up. And he makes it to the extraction point. It's like, okay, mission completed. You guys did it. We may have lost someone, but I was just like, goodness gracious. What, like, this guy got bombed like 6 times. How is he still alive? And then meanwhile, this one guy gets hit like twice, and he's done. Like, this makes no sense. There's just like no balance with this. I don't know. It's strange. I'm angry at the game, I think, for certain things, because I see the potential that this game has. Like it was so close to just knocking it completely out of the park, but it stops short and like ends up like rolling, and someone picks it up, and it's like, well, the home team didn't score, but Still a good play. Bases are now loaded.
But at the end, did you enjoy it?
I've enjoyed it, like most of it. Yes.
Okay.
I still think once it eventually comes out on Xbox, because I think right now it's only on PC. Yeah, like it's something worth checking out. But just know that, yeah, it is a very difficult game. It is punishing. Even on beginner mode, they will just bombard you with the sheer number of bad guys that you have to take out. Like the last thing that I will say is that, like, after I got my ass whooped in the final boss, I was like, all right, let me look up a walkthrough or like tips on how to beat this guy, because I was like, this is just ridiculous. And they were basically like, well, we hope you spec your characters correctly, because if you don't have certain like abilities that you can do, you're pretty much shit out of luck here. Which then like makes me be like, well, why did I have that big skill tree with like 4 different corners for each class, so I could have them do different things? Like, this makes no sense. That it's like, well, I could go in this direction, but to beat the final boss, you should have gone in this other direction. It's also, again, not something that you can go do side missions to level up your characters and start getting those other abilities. Thankfully, they give you a thing to, like, respec your characters. It's like, hey, you can erase all of the abilities and use those points to something else, but you only have so many of those. So it's just this, like, if you made it to the final boss and you're stuck, that's it. Sorry. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll give it 1 or 2 more goes, and then I might just be like, okay, what's the final cutscene? Because I can't put it down any easier, because that's on the easiest one, and I'm just like, I can't do this. Ridiculous. So, there you go. That's all I've been playing this week. Hopefully I won't be talking about Gears tactics anymore for the few upcoming weeks here. So, done with it. You guys are all tired of me talking about it, I'm sure. But well, let's see. Let's get into housekeeping. I need to pull up the thing so I can play the song. And of course, I cannot hear the song on my end, so I'm assuming it played. It played on OBS, but I did not hit the right thing, I think. So, yeah, housekeeping. If you guys did not know, we have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. You guys can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com, or your favorite podcasting platform of choice. Just type in the Whatnauts and all of our shows will pop up right there. And if you like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. At our $3 tier, you guys can get some exclusive content. We recently put up an exclusive episode of the Reactor Core, in which Melissa, one of the hosts of our other shows, we were reacting to movie trailers from the 2000s. So we have one from movie trailers from the 90s. We now have one movie trailers from the 2000s, and we are planning on recording one real soon here for movie trailers from the 2010s. So be on the lookout for that as well down the road. And last but not least, we want to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, so much for helping us out and supporting us for so long and keeping the mics on. We love you lots and appreciate it. Right, that means we are done with housekeeping, so let's get on to the news. Number 1. Let's start off with all of this Ubisoft news. Yeah. So first one is also a little bit of a downer. A couple weeks ago, we reported that there has been a bunch of abuse allegations within the video game industry. Those have kind of still been continuing. There's been stuff in the Smash Brothers community, stuff here at Ubisoft. So this one is coming from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. Writes, Ubisoft Entertainment said 3 of its highest-ranking executives are leaving the video game publisher and that it's planning a major overhaul following dozens of reports and allegations of sexual misconduct and abuse at the company. The most notable departure is that of Sergei Haskot. Not sure how to pronounce that one. It has the 2 dots over the E there. But Sergei was the chief creative officer who was responsible for shepherding all of Ubisoft's blockbuster franchises, including Assassin's Creed and FarCry. In a press release Saturday, a week ago, Ubisoft said his resignation takes effect immediately. Yannis Malat, managing director of Ubisoft's Canadian studios, is also leaving. The recent allegations that have come to light in Canada against multiple employees make it impossible for him to continue in his position, the company said. Cecil Cornett, the global head of human resources, is also departing, and her division will be reorganized. In an internal message to employees reviewed by Bloomberg News, Chief Executive Officer Yves Guillemot said he plans to personally oversee a complete overhaul of Ubisoft's creative editorial team, and that his goal is to create an inclusive and open culture that embraces more diverse and multidisciplinary expertise.
Yeah, I mean, the story popped up, yesterday night, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much, of course, today we have Ubisoft Forward. So, in a way, I mean, I'm pretty glad that all these people that did terrible things, I mean, Serge himself, if you look at all the things that he is accused of, it's all terrible stuff. So I'm glad that they left. But yeah, I think it coming up pretty close to Ubisoft's Forward, it did kind of taint the presentation today, and I think it also put a lot of stress for people that were, of course, not involved in all of this stuff. Today, during the presentation, and pre and post show, I'm sure they got a lot of stuff coming their way. So
yeah,
I doubt it was a good 24 hours for Ubisoft teams as a whole.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm wondering if this is something that is gonna kind of fly under the radar for most people, though. Because I know, people like Yayo and me, like we take a look at this news, we pay attention, we're here on the podcast talking about it, but I think your average, Joe Schmo isn't gonna really know that this is happening. He's just gonna be like, oh, hey, a new Assassin's Creed is coming out this fall.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty much any scandal coming out of the gaming industry. I think, of course, all those people who are in tune, like you and me, who read the news and listen to podcasts, of course, will be aware of everything going behind the scenes. But then regular people that I think might make up the most of the game sales in the end. I don't think that they have that in mind when they buy their games.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe some news outlets will pick up on these, and especially since more and more stories are coming up, I think that's going to bleed more into the mainstream.
Yeah.
But they'll just read that as there's something bad going on in the games industry, not as just, hey, Ubisoft had this, and the director of the next Assassin's Creed games did this. I doubt that it's how it will go.
Yeah, and I also don't mean to bring that up to be dismissive of that stuff. I'm glad that they've been so open, just about like, hey, we're letting these people go effective immediately. Here, we don't necessarily have a quick fix for that stuff, but this is a long-term commitment, and that it's like, even me just saying that makes it seem like the corporate speak, which I don't necessarily feel like that's the approach that Ubisoft has taken. They have put that stuff out there because I think that's kind of what you need to do. But then I think they've also taken this more like they've been willing to comment and stuff, as we can see here that the CEO has been like, hey, like I personally am making sure that this is a thing that we are working to fix starting now.
Yeah, and like we said, this is something that Ubisoft has had to deal with for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
After everything that came out from other employees. So now that this came out, like after we got all of that response from them, it's just gonna be the only response you can have is, we have to work on that. We already said that we are going to work on that, and this is just more of that. So we have to reiterate that we're going to work on that.
Indeed.
But yeah, I mean,
they did put out a statement today before their event that was like, look, we made this event kind of before this news stuff came out, so we're not really going to be addressing it in that. And that's not really the purpose of the conference thing that we're about to do. But just know that, hey, like, we are working on this stuff. So.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about, because when this news story came out, I was on the Zoom call with other kind of funny best friends. So right there, we all talked about what this meant for Ubisoft and how Ubisoft had to react, because we had the Forward today.
Yeah.
And some were talking about how Ubisoft had to delay the event, or if there was anything, or if these people were a part of the video, that how they would have to cut that out. What do you think about Ubisoft not delaying the event and the statement that they put out? What are your thoughts?
I think, kind of like we mentioned, like, this is not new for Ubisoft. Like, this has been happening over the past couple weeks. And I think it's only coming out now that it's like, hey, like, there are more specific people that we are letting go. I don't know. Like, I on one hand, part of me wants to say that I think it was maybe too soon for them to really effectively postpone it.
Yeah.
I think they could have, because it was not a live event, right? It was a recorded thing, so they could have postponed it. I don't know if that would have been the best move.
Yeah, I mean, what I said yesterday was that I don't see Ubisoft delaying the event, because, I mean, we now know that these people didn't have any part on the show, so they got lucky in that they didn't have to cut anything out.
Yeah.
But my argument for Ubisoft not delaying the event was that we knew that so many people had embargoes on what they have seen on Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion. So I thought that if you were to delay the event, especially that close to the event, it would the effects would permeate through so much more than just the Ubisoft.
Right, because
So
all of the impressions of that stuff would come out first, which could potentially sour people on watching the actual event. If things like, oh, this game is bad, blah blah blah.
But you would have to try to have people not release their videos, which would have been a huge problem for many people.
Yeah, and some that stuff is already scheduled, and they might be out of town or not have access to their computers or stuff like that. Like, yeah, it would have been a mess. So I think it had already snowballed, right? And it was just like, all right, just let's continue on, and we'll just put our heads down and deal with the stuff that we need to.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I think we're about to talk about that conference that they had. I don't want the previous story to necessarily put a sour note on stuff, because I think there's some exciting stuff coming from plenty of talented people at Ubisoft. I watched this event, and I'm actually pretty excited about most of this.
Yeah, that's something we saw today so much on Twitter, was that so many people came out talking about how, hey, there are so many people working on these games that it's more than just all these 3 people. So hey,
which
please don't bring that into the into the showcase.
Yeah, if I can add one more thing to the previous story, I think this is another reason why most people won't necessarily pay attention to this, is because with something that so many people that are working on, it's hard for something like that to just be completely stopped or affected by that one person per se.
Yeah,
it can happen, but it's like, the creative director for Valhalla stepped down. That was a week or 2 ago, but that game is still coming out, right? Like, if you didn't know that they had changed creative, if you didn't know that they had changed creative directors, like, you wouldn't know, and that doesn't necessarily delay the game per se. So
and to that point, especially the Assassin's Creed games, so many people work on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
it's not even just one Ubisoft studio; it's
multiple.
Several Ubisoft studios work on one given Assassin's Creed game. So there are too many moving parts for one person to be all that impactful.
And again, that's not to belittle the things that these people did and that they are in trouble for. Because that is some serious stuff. But forward onto the Ubisoft Forward. I got a roundup of stuff from Kotaku. Thank you to Airy Notice for putting this one together. I just put some bullet points.
So there's more here than what was on the presentation.
Did you watch the pre-show stuff?
Oh no, I didn't.
There was a couple things that were announced, but not much. And then after the show, they had like a 30-minute deep dive into Valhalla gameplay.
Got it.
Stuff like that. So yeah. So a couple things from the pre-show. The first thing was that the Crew 2 will continue to get updates all through its 3rd year. They're going to be rolling out different cars from different decades. They had the Volkswagen Beetles from the 60s and stuff like that. They had some really cool cars from the 80s with like a Outrun style, like a cyberpunk outrun vaporwave kind of style. So it looks like they're still continuing their support of that game.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's still going, because when it came out, I don't think that it made that big of an impact for Ubisoft to merit supporting the game. What, 3 years?
3 years now, yeah. We're about to go into their third year. So,
good
next
for
up,
the people that are still playing the crew.
Yeah, right.
Whoever they are.
Next up, also from the pre-show, Trials Rising is getting the Giga Track. It is the largest track they have ever made in Trials Rising, and it will be free to play for everyone this Thursday. Be on the lookout for that if you guys like Trials Rising. And last but not least, for the pre-show stuff, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is getting AI teammates for solo players.
Seriously?
Yeah. This is an interesting
It has been
one.
at least a year, if not more, since the game came out. And now you're including AI teammates?
Yeah, in a weird way, it's a little too late. But again, they're supporting the crew too for their third year now. So,
Sure.
Oddly enough, I am a little more interested in that game now, knowing that I can play through it as a single player now. I mean, you could before, but it was a lot more difficult to do so.
I could have sworn Ghost Recon Wildlands already had AI teammates when it came out. I don't know. I could have sworn they had, but maybe it didn't.
But yeah, and then it looks like you can also customize those players to look like what you want. They have different skins and weapons and stuff like that. And they had one that looked like Sam Fisher. Just angrily shook my fist. And I was just like, God damn it, I want a new Splinter Cell game.
Yeah, no.
Give me pictures of Splinter Cell, damn it.
This is something that also happened during the presentation itself. I mean, Ubisoft will keep using Sam Fisher without ever bringing back Splinter Cell.
Yeah. But in the conference itself, they started out with a new... I wanted to call it a cinematic trailer, but it's a new short film from Watch Dogs Legion. And apparently it was by one of the same people who did one of the shorts on Netflix's Death, Love, and Robots. If you've seen that
no, but I thought the director had something to do with Into the Spider-Verse.
As well, yeah. He was one of the artists that they consulted for that stuff in the creative direction.
This what are we calling it?
A short film.
It's not a trailer.
Is what
sure,
they
this
called
short film had a lot of Into the Spider-Verse vibes.
Yes. Really crazy art style, all sorts of multiple textures and mediums. Yeah,
all the text that popped up,
and that was great. Yeah, I don't know about you, I loved it.
I loved it too.
Though I know a lot of people thought it was very, very strange because some of the narration was from a poem, or a speech, or something. I don't know exactly what, but a poem from Nazi Germany of a pastor that was like, hey, first they came for so and so, but I did nothing because I was not so and so, and that rang a little bit odd for some people. I thought
was the priest a Nazi?
Fine. I think that's what the people were kind of like about, of just like, hey, this is from Nazi Germany. I don't know if that's a good thing to be putting out there. But then, but to me, it hit just fine. I loved that narration, and I was like, this is giving me a very oppressive vibe, and I'm gonna be someone that's taking them down. I am gonna be the one that is like speaking up and stuff like that, which to me comes at a great time. It might be a little bit too soon for some people, especially like here in the United States with all of the Black Lives Matter stuff of just the police brutality.
Yeah, or here like, that we had all the riots last year.
Yeah, that too. Like I like this stuff when art kind of mimics real life, and it's like, hey, here's something that you're dealing with. Maybe you didn't know how to express it or connect with it. Here is something you can play out. Maybe a little bit more of a fantasy version with that, in which you are more of the central hero, or you know, you like your organization is the like yeah, we're taking down the oppressive regime, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, back to the whole poem stuff, I think that maybe if you know the exact origin of the poem, maybe it could rub you the wrong way. But then again, I think that the whole they came for something and I did nothing, it has evolved so much throughout history. It has evolved into something bigger than one poem that I don't think people will have problems with that exact thing. I mean, I had no idea that it was from apparently a Nazi priest, but I of course I have heard the whole they came for something and I did nothing.
And let's see, I'm pulling up the Wikipedia page. First they came is the poetic form of prose post-war confession, first made in German in 1946 by the German Lutheran pastor Martin Niemöller.
Wait, 46?
In 46.
Wasn't that after? Wasn't that after then, or was that during World War II?
It's during right after. This is like the confession. It continues on and says here, it's about the cowardice of German intellectuals and certain clergy, including, by his own admission, Niemöller himself, following the Nazis' rise to power and subsequent incremental purging of their chosen targets group after group. Many variations and adaptations in the spirit of the original have been published in the English language. It deals with themes of persecution, guilt, repentance, and responsibility.
Wait, so it's not a Nazi priest then? It totally fits the theme of an oppressive regime.
Yeah, but I
why would you be?
I think it's just a touchy subject for some people of just like, why are you bringing up the Nazis? But
I don't know. I think it fits.
I thought it looked sweet. I'm excited for Watch Dogs Legion. And it is coming out October 29th for current gen and will be available at a later date for next gen consoles.
Yeah, I think it's... Well, I think it's a bit close to the release of Valhalla. But we'll talk about the release of Valhalla later.
Yeah, we'll get to all that stuff in a sec.
That's not all we saw. All we saw from Watch Dogs Legion. We actually saw gameplay. I wanted to know, what do you think?
We did see gameplay. I was underwhelmed. I was hoping for new gameplay, because that was kind of what we knew about the game. That you can recruit anyone, and that different people have different strengths and weaknesses, and there's different styles of like how to infiltrate stuff. Like, we knew all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that you could recruit different people. I think they said that pretty much anyone is recruitable.
Yeah.
But I think that what was different and, to me, exciting about this trailer was all the different ways and that every character is different from one another. How each character brings something different
Yes.
to a certain mission, and they show one mission being played different ways. As how, if you play it as a construction worker, you could go and be brutal and use this nail gun to kill anyone. But if you were this other hacker, you could use drones to get in, or you could be one of the people that you are fighting against that you recruited. And they said that to get this specific person was very hard, but that if you got that person, you could just walk right in because you just fit in there. You're one of them.
So I feel like I've kind of known that stuff. But I was super interested in Watch Dogs Legion stuff last year at E3, and Waypoint Radio had some great information on that game because they got to do all the like behind closed doors stuff. They went really in depth with all of that and like what you can and can't do. And from what I understand, the game, it's not that everyone has their own unique backstory right away, but it's once you zero in on them and is like, and once you try to recruit them, that the game will make up a backstory for them and stuff like that. And then
I mean that would make sense in just to save processing power and space and all the things that it has to take into account.
But then depending on your actions and who you kill and who you recruit and all of that stuff, certain people will react to you differently. It will become harder to recruit them. Like if you killed someone named John while you were on this one mission, and then you're at some bar, 2 hours down the road in the game, and they're like, "Oh, you're from this group? No, you killed my brother John. I'm not going to be with you." So there, it sounds like there is stuff like that where certain characters will be more difficult to recruit as on your team.
Yeah, and we also saw that they showed one scene that was about recruiting this one guy, and they showed how different characters would garner different reactions from that one guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks sweet. I still think that game is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it, but I just didn't think the gameplay was necessarily anything new. It was about what I expected. So.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm more excited now than what I was before.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Once again, that is out on October 29th for current gen consoles, and will be out on next gen consoles as well at a date. I do have to say I have multiple new dates and stuff like that here in the story about the Ubisoft Forward, as well as when we talk about Devolver's Direct. So our new and notable section might be a little bit sparse this week.
Okay.
But back to all of this stuff. Brawlhalla, the free-to-play Smash Brothers-like game is coming to mobile, and it is getting crossplay for everyone.
I think it means crossplay for mobile because Brawlhalla already had a crossplay.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, I even played it yesterday. Funny enough, with my friends.
I saw that they had like a Ben 10 thing. Is that the right game?
Yes, I also saw that. Yeah.
I mean,
I still don't know how. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but I still don't know exactly how that works with all the new characters. I think you have to get a pass of some sorts to get them.
Okay.
But yeah, no, yesterday I played it with some friends. I played it on my Switch, and my friend played it on a PC, and it all went great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Elite Squad. Tom Clancy's Elite Squad is still coming soon. This is the mobile game with a lot of the Tom Clancy characters, including my
Including
boy Sam Fisher.
Yep.
Yeah. When they first announced that game, I think it was last year at E3. They were like, Sam Fisher is back, and I was just like, yeah. And then it was on mobile, and I was just like, no.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm not super excited about that game, but I still don't know exactly what it is.
No, either.
So we'll see. Hyperscape, which we talked about last week or so, the new free-to-play battle royale game from Ubisoft is now in open beta. So now I
on
think
PC.
On PC. So you don't have to wait for a code. I think you can just hop in now.
Yep.
So, and then we finally got Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay for real this time. Yeah, this game will be coming out November 17th. Now we'll circle back around to that in just a sec, but they had some like new gameplay footage in the Ubisoft Forward itself, and then after they had like a half an hour deep dive into gameplay. I took some notes on that stuff.
Good.
It looks like more stealth mechanics are coming back into the game. The one I saw was that you could hide in plain sight, like in groups of people.
Yeah, I saw that. They showed that a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
During the presentation itself, and I thought that was pretty cool that they brought that one aspect back.
Indeed. Things like raids in the game, not the same kind of raids as what you might expect in like Destiny or something like that. But you can.
Yeah, it's more of a literal raiding
as a Viking, raiding and pillaging.
Yep.
Yeah, you can go do that stuff to build up resources, which will then in turn build up your settlement, which then gets you better access to services and more tools and more settlers to go and conquer more settlements and towns and all sorts of stuff. So I like that. I like the idea of like building up your settlement.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Well,
That's really neat.
they went into a bit about the story of Valhalla during the presentation itself. They were talking about how the story is basically Vikings coming to England because they couldn't stay in Norway, I think, right? That's where Vikings come from. So they come to England looking for a better place. So the game is about getting there and building your own settlement. And they talked about how you have to find all the stuff that you need.
Yeah.
Like you said, pillaging villages and whatnot. And one thing that I thought was funny during the presentation was that they talked about how Vikings aren't bad people, but then they proceeded to show Vikings pillaging this one village
and all that stuff,
and burning it all down.
And murder
No survivors.
people.
No survivors. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, well, that was something that people brought up when, like, during that Xbox reveal trailer thing, where they're like, it's showing us like scenes of them with their family, and they're wrestling, and stuff, and it's like, oh, family time, and then it's like, but you guys know that the Vikings were like murderous and did a lot of bad things, right?
Yeah. You know what? Maybe we misjudge the Vikings. Oh no! Wait, nope. They are killing innocent people now. No.
Yeah. No,
They're burning it all down.
I'm actually fine with that. Because I mean, they do have a home life. It's not like the Vikings didn't have that, right? And they didn't have things that they cared about or families that they wanted to protect. But yeah, they were also very aggressive and very brutal in their tactics for expansion.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm more excited now for Valhalla than I was before.
Okay.
From what we've seen.
Okay. Yeah,
Although I doubt I'll play it when it comes out.
I'm still skeptically excited.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see. So something else that I saw that was coming back is chasing those floating and elusive documents. You remember in like
weird.
Assassin's Creed like 2
3.
and 3? Yeah,
No,
like 3.
I think it came up on 3, and
It was in 3.
I think either it stayed on 3
feathers or something.
No, you didn't chase feathers. The feathers were just there. They weren't floating. But no, yeah, chasing documents.
Chase.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't anything you had to chase. The idea of chasing a document started with 3 because of the whole, was it Benjamin Franklin's diary, someone's diary that you had to chase down.
Something like that.
And I think it might have come back on 4, but other than that, I don't think it ever came back.
Yeah, well, it is back in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They showed some gameplay of the main character chasing down a page that would then unlock a new tattoo. So,
sure,
take that what you will. The one thing that I will say is that it seems like they are trying to at least dip back into the nostalgia well of like, hey, remember when Assassin's Creed was a stealth game with free running?
Yep.
So I'm hesitantly excited about stuff like that. But last 2 little bullet points about Assassin's Creed is that you can dual wield any combination of weapons.
Yeah,
this looked
which
pretty
was
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, it looked like it had axes and swords and hammers and shields.
And funny enough, I think you could dual wield shields.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, you could dual wield shields if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You could get a sword and a shield, or an axe and a shield, or an axe and a hammer, something like that. It looked neat, and I think that will make for some interesting combat. The combat looked like they stepped it up.
Yeah, no, speaking of weapons, I thought that they had some pretty interesting weapons that you could use. Or not just weapons. You saw him using throwing axes.
Mm-hmm.
It looked pretty cool. And if I'm not mistaken, we saw the character using kind of like a rope dart. Would look like a rope dart.
Kind of, yeah, like something like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat would
pretty much throw it against an enemy and pull him towards you.
Yeah.
Which, again, speaking of bringing stuff back, if I'm not mistaken, that was in Assassin's Creed 3.
Yes. Yeah, that was. Because you could also, couldn't you do the thing where you were up in a tree and you shot someone with that and then jumped
that was
back
pretty
off
cool,
and it would hang them?
Yeah, it was pretty cool
stuff. Yeah, and then lastly, it also looks like there's new types of enemies, or new ways that your enemies will fight you, which looked cool. The 2 that they kind of showed off, or the 3 things that they kind of showed off, is that some of the bigger bad guys that you fight will pick up and throw the dead bodies of their companions, or will throw rocks. Will just use stuff in the environment to throw at you or hit you with. I thought that was neat. They showed another enemy type that seemed to be more nimble and was like dodging things. It was like he was dodging back and forth, and I was like, whoa, he's really booking.
Yeah, for sure. It seems that they included some interesting elements to the fight. I don't know if they showed it here or in the post show, but it's something that appeared on the leaked video that was one of the bosses had a flaming sword.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Interesting.
I don't know if they showed it here.
I don't remember that. They had some guy that had like a long pole that was spinning, and he was near some fire, and so I just kind of assumed that his like the end of his spear was on higher, but I don't.
No, this guy
know.
pretty much had a sword that he lit up.
Yeah.
Right there.
So yeah, the last thing that I noticed about the combat, and they mentioned, was that sometimes your enemies will team up against you to do special combos and stuff like that. Like they had one where like two bad guys caught you and tried to hold you while a third one came up and did something. I thought that was neat. Just putting a little bit more into combat there. So
yeah.
And last but not least, with the Ubisoft Forward, we got to see the opening credit sequence for FarCry 6, starring Giancarlo Esposito.
Nope.
Is
it
Giancarlo? Damn it, I knew it. I was like, I'm
said Giancarlo.
I'm gonna go with Giancarlo and just say it.
Nope, not even close.
Confidently, and man, fucked it up. Oh well, yeah, but he is the actor from Breaking Bad. That you guys will recognize him from there. And that game is out February 16th, 2021.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, talking about what we saw, it was a fun opening, a fun intro cinematic. Or not fun, but...
I was going to say, fun is an interesting word.
Yeah, no, what, interesting? Let's call it interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting, I think, in the way, like, it was very cinematic, it was very tense,
yeah.
And again, it was a game that is kind of mirroring global events and stuff right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what Far Cry has done, is that I like how they managed to find new places where everything's fucked up. Like, in 3, we have that island that was overtaken by this whole group, or 4, that was in the... I forget the name of the mountains, but again, overtaken by this one guy, or the cult in the US. So, yeah, they just found another place to put this one guy is taking over, and you have to beat him down. And I like that it's a different setting from the other games. It will feel pretty different.
Yeah.
Because on the other games we were pretty much on either wilderness or open places, where now I think it will be more of town settings and kind of like Latin American cities, more than just out in the open.
Indeed.
So again, I think it's pretty cool that they found yet another different setting.
Yeah, I like the setting of this one. I think they mentioned, or I saw it mentioned on Twitter or something, that this is supposed to be based off of Cuba.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they will actually go with a specific country. That's one of the things that I was thinking about, how if they'll ever address where it is, where exactly it is. But yeah, it's pretty much your typical, I would say, probably Central American dictatorship.
Which I think then begs the question of, is this going to be your typical Far Cry game where it looks like it's going to be super political and then there's like nothing in there?
Yeah, I've seen people complain about that.
Yeah,
like, probably.
Because that's the thing. Like, I remember the trailer for 5, which I never played, but that was the discourse with that. It was like, oh man, they've stepped it up. It looks like they're gonna be tackling some bigger political issues and stuff. And to be honest, it looks the same based off of the opening credits in that trailer for this game, but I am now a lot more hesitant to be like, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. I don't know if that's what they will do. I
guess that's pretty much every Far Cry game, where, yeah, it does it is settled around kind of more of a political environment, but I think that's more as to have it more of an environment than to make a statement or make a story revolve around that. I think that it's just to have a setting.
Yeah.
And to
just a
basically
backdrop and an atmosphere.
Yeah, just to basically justify what you're going through and justify you having to take back the land and kill all these people.
They also announced the like pre-order bonuses.
Yeah, did you see that?
The Discos Locos, which was one of the weapons that you can get if you order it, and then this like little puppy companion that has whales for its back legs.
Yeah, it's winner dog without hind legs.
Like that's the thing. Like this game is going to end up being ridiculous.
Yeah,
of just like we're gonna be sitting there in the middle of some like Latin American dictatorship, and then all of a sudden like some kind of like cougar or jaguar is gonna come and eat someone, but the animal will be in a clown costume. And it's just like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. What did you think of the Ubisoft Forward in general? Good, bad, yes, no? You want more?
I mean, it was pretty okay. One thing that we didn't include here was that they, at the end of the show, they said that there will be another Ubisoft Forward.
Yes, just about to get to that, yeah.
My thoughts are thoughts that I think a lot of other people are having is that the most interesting thing that got revealed was that there will be another one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, FarCry, those are all known quantities. Yeah, nothing new. I mean, that's... Even before we got here, even before the presentation, I knew, and I wasn't excited because I knew that we would just get the usual stuff. Nothing new, nothing mind-blowing. We would just get Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, and even if they hadn't, the new Far Cry game hadn't leaked, that was pretty much a good bet for what we would see.
Yeah.
But we didn't see Gods and Monsters. Skull and Bones is had basically disappeared.
It's basically Skulls and Bones now.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't see what's it called, Beyond Good and Evil. No new Rayman or Prince of Persia or Splinter Cell
or Rainbow Six Contagion.
Whatever that will end up being called. But yeah, like I said, I mean, that's why the most interesting thing to me was that there will be another one, because hopefully now they got all of the known quantities out of the way, and hopefully the next one will get into more of the other stuff.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to mention about this is kind of the release date of Assassin's Creed Valhalla is November 17th. That's is 2 days before Cyberpunk.
Exactly. Yeah, which is why I said I probably won't play it when it comes out.
Yeah.
And also, November 17th for Valhalla is, 18 days after Watch Dogs Legion?
Yeah. A couple weeks after that, about 2.5 weeks or so.
Yeah.
But I think that begs an interesting question. Why would they put that game at November 17th? November 19th?
Why not December?
Yeah, why not wait another month or something else, right?
Yeah, if this was the only thing that they had, November would have made more sense, because you would be 2 months separated basically with Watch Dogs and with Far Cry.
Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty safe to assume that PlayStation or Microsoft will release one of their consoles that same week.
Oh, you think?
I think so. Or like right around there, because November is usually the time, right? That's when Thanksgiving is happening. That's when Black Friday is happening, so it's
Yeah,
usually...
November was how it went last time. I don't know the times before that.
Yeah, so I would imagine that week or the following week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
I mean, for Sony at least, I would say, if you ask me when they will release a PS5, I would say probably around then. But for Xbox, I'm not sure. So many reports have come out talking about how soon Xbox wants to release their console. I mean, we even talked about that last week, how they wanted to release their console, September? August, September, October, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting and good observation, how both Valhalla and Cyberpunk are
It's
there.
strange because November 17th is a Tuesday, and the 19th is a Thursday. So it's not even not even a typical Friday.
Not even a Friday
release, which is the same thing. Then October 29th is a Thursday. So that's a little bit strange, but
yeah, I don't know.
Let's see.
Let's keep an eye out on that.
I'll see. Okay, let's move on to number 3 in our list of news stuff. The Devolver Direct. Did you get a chance to watch this, Ignacio?
Yes, I did. I watched all of the weird stuff.
Man, I'm oddly into what they do, but I also just think it's like so strange.
Well, I knew before how the Devolver, all their presentations were weird, but I never knew that it was this weird.
Oh yeah,
this kind of weird.
They are wild.
Yeah, no. Every time they would come around, I wouldn't watch them, but I would see stuff here and there where it would be like, oh, they did this crazy stuff and all that. But I had no idea that they had basically like a storyline for all their presentations.
It's one giant storyline. It's crazy. I love it. But yeah, it's just it's kind of over the top. Like, I'm wondering how much they spent on making this stuff. I'm just like, man, that's a lot of time and money and effort.
Yeah, no, and especially because they pretty much must have filmed all of it during quarantine.
Yeah. So, interesting stuff. Okay, so here's a rundown of all of the things that they announced at the Devolver Direct, thanks to Joe Screbbles at IGN. The first and I think foremost, because I think this is the strangest one, Devolver Land Expo. It's a first-person shooter set in an abandoned conference center and has you fighting and puzzling your way to find Devolver-themed goodies. They announced this as a marketing simulator or something, and it's supposed to be set in like a dilapidated E3 show floor. It's wild.
Yeah, no, it's almost like they made an FPS out of a simulation of a not a press con, but like a show floor.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, no,
it was so fun. It's really funny, but then at the same time, I'm like, it's available now, and I think it's
free.
Free, yeah. Like, I kind of want to go see what that is. Just go play it. But yeah, that's available now. But let's see. They also announced Shadow Warrior 3. We got to see some gameplay for that. That's gonna be coming in 2021.
Which looked fun.
Don't really know much about those games, but yeah, that looked really fun.
It looked fun, but I don't know. I don't know what the game as a whole will be like, because we only saw like a bit of platforming that reminded me a lot of Titanfall, with all the wall running and the grappling itself. But then the game was just you on basically like an arena trying to fight out of hordes of enemies. So I wonder if that's most of the game, or if that's just that one segment that was just hordes of enemies. I don't know.
I got the impression that was just one section, but yeah, I'm not sure, and I'm not familiar with the older Shadow Warrior games, so I have no idea. But it looked good. It looked fun. Next up is Olija, I think is how you say it.
No idea.
What was that?
No idea.
Oh, okay. I was like, Ignacio had it? No? Okay.
Nope.
This is a Prince of Persia-inspired action-adventure game coming to PC and Switch this fall. And that definitely has my ears perked up. I like.
Well, you say Prince of Persia inspired, but I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it reminded me more of a, like, what was that ninja game called?
Gaiden?
No, the one that came to the Switch. Katana Zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zero. Okay.
I don't know. I'm pulling up gameplay. Maybe I'm misremembering it. But if it's the game that I'm thinking of, it reminded me a lot of Katana Zero and The Messenger.
That makes sense. I mean, Prince of Persia started off as a PC game, right? And it was
but it was more of a platforming game.
2D, yeah.
Yeah, but this is way more actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. It reminds me a lot of Katana Zero.
Okay.
Wait, it's coming this fall? Could have sworn they said it's out now.
Actually,
or am I misremembering?
Right. There was something they announced that was like available now.
Yeah, could have sworn it was this.
Look that up while I'm talking, and I will read the next one here. Next up, Fall Guys, which is the 60-person battle royale / game show, which looks incredibly ridiculous and a whole lot of fun. That is going to be coming to PC and PlayStation 4 on August 4th. I know a lot of people are excited about that one.
It looked like a lot of fun, and they had Shuhei there, and that was pretty fun.
Indeed.
I'm looking at the reveal from the presentation itself, and it says available now.
Interesting.
Well,
okay, so
I'm
Joe
gonna look
Scrubbles
at
may
my
have gotten
Switch.
that wrong.
Give me a second.
They update it under. Yeah, it still says coming this fall.
Came back.
Maybe. Here's what it is. So the post was updated yesterday, July 11th. So they haven't updated it for today, which they shadow dropped it today.
No, that would have been yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Well,
remember?
Damn it, yeah.
I got my Switch here. I'm gonna look it up. Go to the next one.
Next up, Carrion is coming to PC, Xbox One, and Switch on July 23rd. This looked like some kind of 2D horror game where you are this like tentacle-filled blob thing.
It's a weird thing. Let's call it a weird thing.
It's a weird thing, indeed. Then we got another look at Serious Sam 4, which is coming to PC and Stadia in August. After that, we got...
Yeah, I've never played Serious Sam.
Yeah, same here. I've never played it. Didn't look all that great to me. It just looked like you were just shooting a bunch of things mindlessly. Which if that is what you need and what you're into, there you go. Serious Sam 4 might be for you. Next up, Blight Bound. This is an online and local multiplayer dungeon brawler coming to Steam early access July 29th. And last but not least, here in the Devolver Direct, we got another look at Weird West, an isometric immersive sim from the makers of Dishonored and Prey. That will be coming in 2021.
Weird West. I don't remember this one.
They when did we first hear about it? it might have even been a kind of funny showcase. Something. I don't remember exactly where they announced it, but they announced it a while back. And yeah, it looks interesting, at the least. And I loved Dishonored and I loved Prey, so I'm gonna be.
Yeah, and I think I would remember that game. Okay, I'm looking at it. Doesn't ring a bell.
Doesn't bell. Ignacio, pay attention. Come on, man.
I'm sorry. So I looked it up on my Switch and it isn't showing up.
It's not showing up. Huh. Interesting. So maybe it is out this fall then?
Maybe. I mean, why would they say it's out now?
Well, ooh, you know what? I'm wondering if... Well, I feel like they would have had time to change that. I'm wondering if it would have come out this summer at E3 and it got delayed because of COVID.
Yeah. I don't know. Everywhere I'm looking at it says 2020.
Coming soon! Olija, the Prince of Persia inspired action adventure game, coming to PC and Switch soon. Yes. Yeah, but that's about it for the Devolver Direct. They do some wild stuff. It was a lot of fun watching that. Yeah, we got to see Shuhei Yoshida. We got to see Jeff Keighley. And then I forgot who the third guy was that they had there.
Phil Spencer was there.
Oh, Phil Spencer was there.
Then they had one segment where they were just making up games, which I thought it was pretty funny.
They had one because it was one of those like Zoom call interview things, and they had why am I blanking on it? That's gonna.
They had Jeff. Me. They had Phil. They had Shuhei. They had Sonic Fox. If I'm
Sonic Fox. That's not the one I was thinking of, though.
They had the guy from Getting Over It.
That guy, Bennett Foddy.
Yeah, that was part of the game of the made-up games.
Yeah, that that was good. I liked that. I liked how it was very obviously the direction that they were given was like, okay, make sure it looks like you're reading a script.
Yeah, I like the one with Sonic Fox. What was his game, like Fox Adventure 4? Like he said, even though there wasn't 1 through 3.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Moving on, though, let's go to number 4 and talk about some Sony news. Sony has invested in Epic Games. This is coming from Dean Takahashi over at VentureBeat. Sony has invested $250 million for a minority stake in Fortnite maker Epic Games. The company's announced today, or I guess this past week. And then there was an update that mentioned Sony is acquiring a 1.4 stake in Epic, which means the deal values Epic Games at $17.86 billion.
Wow.
And see,
that's a lot of money.
And then it continues on with the new money. Epic has raised $1.83 billion to date. The company said the deal cements an already close relationship and reinforces their shared goal to advance the state-of-the-art in technology, entertainment, and socially connected online services. This close relationship was underscored in May when Epic first showed the upcoming Unreal Engine 5 graphics running on a PlayStation 5. As the company itself disclosed, Epic Games raised $1.58 billion in 3 previous funding rounds. In 2012, the company received a $330 million investment from Tencent for a 40% ownership stake. And So, what does this make you think of? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What do you see coming down the road because of this partnership?
I don't think anything will come out of it necessarily because, like we said, it's just 1.4% of Epic. Tencent owns 40%, so Sony has nowhere near the power to make any decision.
Well,
really.
Sure. In a decision-making sense, yes. Sony is not going to be like, and we want Fortnite exclusive on PlayStation 5. Yeah. No, that's not
something they can do.
I
don't know what it means. I don't know why Sony did it.
I see this as them partnering up with Epic to potentially release more PlayStation exclusives on PC.
No.
I don't know, man.
No, I'll believe that when I see it, but I don't think that's.
It's not going to happen next week or stuff like that. But I think long term, I think Sony has expressed an interest of like, hey, how do some of our exclusives play on PC? How does that work? So this maybe,
I don't know. I don't even think that,
but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but why would you buy? If you had a motive like that, why would you buy stock on the company? That's what I don't get. Before any of all of those crazy ideas, I would say that's maybe Sony just thought it was a good business deal because Epic is doing so well. But I don't know what it means. I don't know why Sony would do this. I don't think it has any motive behind it, like bringing their games to PC or getting some exclusive deals. I don't think that the amount is substantial enough to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Only time will tell, but I don't know why. And I don't know if this is something Sony does. Maybe Sony has investments on other companies.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is just a video game specific one, and so that's where.
Well, I don't know if they have investments on other video game companies.
True.
I wouldn't be surprised.
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's wild times. I think people are investing. They're buying studios. There's new consoles coming. All sorts of stuff. But let's move on to number 5 here and switch gears to some Xbox news. Seems like Xbox is encouraging publishers to not charge for next-gen upgrades. This is coming from Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. They write, Xbox has told developers they cannot charge players to upgrade their current gen games to Xbox Series X versions as DLC, as an alternative to its free smart delivery scheme. That's according to publishing sources with knowledge of Microsoft's next-gen policies, who told VGC that companies working on cross-gen games have been encouraged to offer both current and next-gen versions at no additional cost, either via smart delivery or their own schemes, such as EA's dual entitlement.
Yeah. I don't know. I read this as Microsoft telling publishers that they can't charge for an upgrade. But I don't think it means that they cannot have different versions of their games that they charge for the newer one.
Yeah.
For example, who was it? 2K?
The NBA game this past
week? Yeah. How they have different versions that you next gen version that you have to buy separately. I don't think that this means that Microsoft is making a push against that. I think that this is just Microsoft pushing to have developers not charge for upgrades, which is something that we saw on the last generation transition.
Right.
And also, I don't think Microsoft has that much power, maybe, to stand their grounds and tell people, "Hey, give people all these next gen games for free if they have the previous gen games."
That's the thing that I'm a little bit confused by. I think some of the wording in this, I'm not like I don't know how to parse it yet, because there are certain things that it says Xbox has told developers they cannot charge, and then there's later on it says have been encouraged to offer, right? There's a difference between encouraging someone to do something and then being like, no, you cannot.
Well, I think that encouraging to offer both current and next-gen versions at not additional cost, that would be something that would fall into the camp that the next 2K NBA game is that there are actually two versions of the game that they are charging, that they are treating as different SKUs, whereas
that makes sense.
What they're saying that you cannot do is that if you have a version this gen, you can have people pay you an additional amount, let's say either 5, 10, 15, whatever, to get the next gen upgrade.
Yeah. I think, like you said, though, I don't know if Microsoft necessarily has the power to enforce that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but a lot of these publishers aren't Microsoft owned, so they can kind of do what they want.
Yeah, no, and I mean, this is something that was brought up during Kind of Funny Games Daily. I saw Gary Whitta talk about how Microsoft has to make a stance and tell developers or publishers that you have to give, if you own the previous gen version, you have to make the next one free, the next gen version free. And he said that Microsoft has to make a stance, and if you don't do that, you cannot publish on our system. And I don't think that Microsoft has the power right now, or isn't in the position to do that, to actually make such a demand.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I think it's, on one hand, good that they're doing it and that they are trying to take a stand. But yeah, I think a lot of people still see them kind of as the underdog.
Yeah.
In the situation here, so it's an odd move.
I mean, it's a move in line with what they've shown that their stance is that.
Oh sure.
They've said that their games will get free upgrades.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is clearly in line with that stance.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think it's basically worked for them too, though, right? Because now when we see stuff like this 2K thing, where it's like, oh, you get the one that works on both, you have to pay $100. Like it's they're like, whoa, what is this? Or how EA had to push back the date of their dual entitlement thing. It's like, actually, you have more time to do all of that. Like, people are kind of reacting in favor to what Microsoft has been doing, and companies have been like, oh, actually, yeah, we'll help you out a little bit.
Well, I think it at least succeeded in making people actually expect something like that.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Right now people are demanding free next gen upgrades, but if you look at it, it's not something that is happening really. I mean, it's Microsoft said that they would do it. EA then came out and said, hey, if you buy it during this period, we'll get it. But then you saw people that pretty much were expecting to get the next gen upgrade to get mad at it, even though it's something that we haven't gotten before. And yeah, you saw that with the NBA 2K, how people were expecting to get the next gen version for free.
Yeah.
Even though there is no precedent for that. It's just Microsoft has done it, and EA did their own thing, and they were pressured to extend it.
Yeah, which is exactly why I think it's oddly working for Microsoft, because they can put the pressure on from one side, and if they get the consumers on their side, right, then it's like, hey, now you have the actual people buying this game being like, hey, this is what we want, and speaking out and being like, well, how come we don't get the upgrade for free?
Yeah, they don't need to create any pressure because they succeeded in making other people do their work for them.
Exactly. Interesting news, but that's it for the big news stories for this week. Let's go on to our new and notable section. Like I said, this is going to be a short and quick one. Number one, Amazon has delayed its MMO New World again to 2021.
Will the game ever come out?
God, Amazon has been taking it on the chin. So we missed this story last week, but apparently their free-to-play shooter game thing, I think it's a shooter, Crucible, came out like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it did abysmally. It did terribly, and like no one was playing it, to the point where they were just like, you know what, we're gonna move it back into beta.
Yeah. Which is something that you don't really see.
That like, I don't think that specific way of doing it has ever happened. Like we've seen games come out and not do so well, and then they've just like completely revamped it and stuff, which is essentially what I think they're trying to do. But the fact that they were like, actually, we're gonna put this back in the box, and we'll be back sometime, was strange. So yeah, so there was that this past week, and now this game has gotten delayed. So they have gone back to officially only releasing one game. They were at two, but they unreleased one game.
I don't know what Amazon is doing.
I don't think they know what they're doing either. God, because they own Twitch. God damn it. They have free advertising. How does Ubisoft, making a battle royale with all of this Twitch integration, how did they make that? And Amazon doesn't think to have that stuff first.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling. Next up, Nintendo had a Treehouse Live event this past week in which they announced Bakugan, Champions of Vestroia. It was announced for Switch and will be out November 3rd.
Boy, were people not happy.
Yeah, this was a weird one because this was actually a Treehouse event for Paper Mario. And we got to see a bunch of gameplay for Paper Mario and stuff like that. I actually did not watch it because I'm good with that game. I know I want to buy it. But yeah, I wasn't hyped up at all about this new announcement because they were also like, we also have one new announcement from a certain developer. And I guess a lot of people were thinking it was one thing. And this came out of nowhere. And it was just like, it's Bakugan!
Yeah, no, I had no idea that Nintendo was having a treehouse. Just woke up that day, saw Twitter, and apparently Nintendo had something. Yeah. And Bakugan apparently was about to it.
Yeah, it was announced like the day before. It's like tomorrow.
And apparently they included a tease for it to come. And then it ends up being Bakugan, which, let's be honest, it isn't even the best Bakugan there. I think it's the Bakugan that people aren't really into.
I've never seen or played Bakugan. I don't know what it is.
The first show, I would say it's fun.
It was one of those like Pokemon, Digimon, Beyblades, Bakugan, like that type of thing, right?
Closer to Beyblade, I would say.
Closer to Beyblades, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that it's a show revolving around these balls that they
Gotta
open
love a show
up.
about balls.
Sure. But yeah, it's just some balls that when close to a metal surface, they open up and they have a certain form, figure. They're made it to resemble something. So they open up. That's the whole idea.
That's a kid's game. Man. What are the kids?
Get your mind out of the gutter.
What are the kids playing these days? So I think a lot of people were kind of upset at that, which I think
it's fair, to be honest.
Yeah, fair, but I think recently Nintendo has put their foot in their mouths a couple times, especially with the Pokemon Unite thing, right? Where there was like, and we have a brand new Pokemon announcement with a thing all on its own, and it was just like, this is what we got.
To be fair, that's the Pokemon Company.
Sure, yeah,
the same thing.
Sure,
but yeah, no. Why would you tease this? Why?
Oh man. Last but not least, on our new and notable section, don't forget that Death Stranding is out this week on PC. July 14th. I think that's the day this goes live, so it's out on Tuesday.
Oh. So yeah, you'll get something to do other than TurboTax.
Yeah. Put away Minesweeper. Time to play Death Stranding, which was my game of the year. Well, last year was my personal game of the year. So it's a good game.
Yeah.
Good game. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. But that does it for new and notables. So let's get on to the last section, which is our upper runners. We are getting a reality TV show revolving around The Sims.
Sure. Okay.
And it's coming to TBS this next week, and it's hosted by American Idol finalist Raven American Idol finalist Raven Owen.
Because why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is a thing that I don't. Is this something that they can do from home? And
maybe
people like make things in their home.
I don't know what the show will be about.
Yeah. No idea. But yeah, thought we would mention that since we mentioned the Fallout show last week. Number 2 on our up and runners, Ninja had his first stream on YouTube, and he already got a higher peak concurrency than his record on Mixer. He got 165K as opposed to his record on Mixer, which was 93K. Almost double.
Yep. Pretty much the reason as to why Mixer is gone.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. I found that fascinating. And then last but not least on our upper runners, we also announced this past week that Andy Mcnamara was leaving Game Informer. He will be starting his new job this week at EA. And he is going to be their director of comms strategy. So best of luck to you, Andy.
Yep.
There you go. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Ignacio, that wraps us up for all the news and all of that stuff this week. What are you excited to dive into this coming week?
I don't know. Nothing really, to be honest.
Nothing? Not even Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's this week. Sure. Week, Ghost of Tsushima. Right, it is coming out this Friday.
Yeah. It's out on the 17th. We have that, and we also have Paper Mario. In fact, I should put that on New and Notable out this week.
I'll for sure play Tsushima. But Paper Mario, not right now. I'll play it in the future.
Here's what we'll do. I'll play Paper Mario if you play Ghost of Tsushima.
Sure.
Sounds good. And that way we can cover both of them.
Sure, if you don't want to play Tsushima. That's.
I mean, I will
Your
play
loss.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Nope. You said you'll just play Paper Mario.
No, I did not say that.
You said that?
No, I was lying. Yeah, I'm excited for both of those, but yeah, I knew you were going to dive into Ghost of Tsushima, so I was going to play Paper Mario so I could talk about that one as well. But I'm excited for both of them.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. I am hoping to finish up Portal. Maybe I'll finally beat Gears Tactics if I can beat that last boss, but who knows? Maybe I'll just watch the YouTube video of the end. Too hard. But there you go. Where can they find you on the internet, Ignacio?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at Ignacio Rojas B. That's IGNACIOROJASB. That's my name.
Yep. You can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up to date with this show or any of our other podcasts, we are on Twitter at the Whatnauts. Go like, share, subscribe, tell a foe, tell a friend, do all of that stuff. I think we're sitting at 79 subscribers on YouTube right now. Ooh. So help us out a bunch. We are inching closer to 100 on YouTube, which is our goal right now. That being said, we are still looking for a new host to join us here on Crossplay. So if that is something you are interested in, especially if you have previous experience podcasting, or if you are serious about making, I don't know, online content, that's so vague. But yeah, if
you're interested in doing something,
if you are interested in doing stuff and things, Ori, then yeah, let us know. We would love to have some more voices on the show. Or if you don't have experience and you still want to be serious about it, we can at least talk and see if you're a right fit. Stuff like that. So yeah, let us know. You can DM us on Twitter, or you can DM me or Ignacio. We'll figure it out. We'll go from there. I believe that is it. Go like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons. You guys know the deal. This has been it for episode 33 of Crossplay. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out our podcast. We hope you enjoyed that one. Let us know in the comments below if you guys were excited about the stuff that Ubisoft showed off in their Ubi Forward thing that they did today. There was lots of cool things. I think am most excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but or Watch Dogs. There's so much good stuff. Go subscribe to our channel up here in this corner and go watch one of our other videos down there at the same time as well. We will see you guys next time. Bye.